Okay, I wanted to talk about the social capitalism idea, the sodium chloride. The analogy doesn't really, the analogy doesn't break down. There is extreme capitalism, and it's called the company town. Let me take my mask off. It's called the company town, and that is when you're working for the company and you're buying from the company. When everything you've got is coming from the company, when you are earning so much less that you end up working for buying from the company, you're not able to have the choice of other places to go for food. You see, if they're offering food at a lesser price, but then they don't pay enough to like actually buy the food, then eventually they can work you under the minimum wage, or they can work you to the minimum wage, and you would get all of your stuff from that. Walmart or Best Buy and all these companies would, I don't know if Walmart did this, but other companies did this. They would put their factories in China, and then they would take away from those Chinese the rights that we have here, and that was the reason why they were attracted to that, because they could make money. They could take advantage of the the cost of living there, which was much lower than it is in America, and then they could prevent the people there from like ever doing better for themselves. The government wasn't even interested in that, so they wouldn't even force it. In fact, if you became a billionaire in China, they would take you out because they're afraid that anybody could become so rich as to be a competing force to the government. They wouldn't permit them to be. So there are billionaires that are living in our country from China that China are seeking out. They're sending spies into our country to try to find these people, either bring them back or kill them, and because they're afraid of their influence. Okay, and anyhow, and how would you become rich in China? Is it maybe you were able to somehow work around, make some money, and just was so um, had such an entrepreneurial spirit and the ability to make for yourself by creating businesses, But creating business is that probably took advantage of people. But the thing is that what extreme capitalism did in China recently is what it did in the first part of the 20th century in our country, was that we were employing children to work in factories, and the labor laws prevented that from happening because children need to be educated. They don't need to be working in factories where they might lose a limb working. But that's what we did in our country, and that's extreme capitalism. Um, and the extreme capitalism is the company town, the Matewan struggle, when a whole town was losing its ability to control the town because the local coal industry had so much control over when people got time off, and what they were paying for the food and things that they relied upon. And so company towns are extreme capitalism. It's a form of monopolizing people's life by controlling all their freedoms and controlling their value. Okay, and it's a form of it's just as bad as extreme socialism, where you don't really earn anything. All the value you have goes into creating services in the government, and any money you have, if you have, would go to the government, and so people lose control there. It's the same issue. You lose control. The people lose control in both cases. Now, good socialism is the one where people will set aside money, or they have to pay taxes in order to support basic services that provide a safety net for people when they fall out of work or whatever, for whatever reason. Maybe they get ill and they're not able to get back in the job they want because the company they were working for hired somebody else up, and then they would have to find another place for them, and then the company would just turn around and say, well, enjoy your benefits, find another job someplace else. And if they're sick and they're out of it, they used up all their benefits, then they're going to need to get some money from somewhere. Where they're going to get the money from a socialist program, a program that's there to provide them the resources in order for them to get up on their feet and go and get back in to employment. Okay, we have a homeless population, and this homeless population exists because they're not able to get affordable housing, because many of the housing complexes are focused on people that are earning a wage, a sustainable wage, and you can't get a sustainable wage. It's like an egg, it's like a chicken before egg concept. You can't get a sustainable wage unless you have permanent residence. You can't guarantee that you're going to be there every day until you have permanent residence. If you're homeless and you've got a job, there are going to be times when you're not going to be able to get things that you need, and you won't really have the money to do it with, and so you can't maintain residence. If you're homeless, that you're susceptible to people stealing from you. And if they steal from you, then you don't have the resources, say, to eat with. You may be looking around to socialist services or churches that provide you the food and necessary to live on, and you might be doing that instead of going to your job, because those places may only be available during the day at a certain time. And so the thing is that we need to provide low income housing, and some rich person is going to have to bite the bullet, provide this at a small amount of residual income, a small amount of I forgot what they call it. Certain words flee from my mind, but you understand what I mean. The thing is, they collect money on that, but not a great amount of money. And if they keep in their mind the same idea that capitalists think, well, you start companies and it gives people jobs, those jobs are only going to go to people with residence. And there are people who are homeless. Even CEOs get to be homeless. Anybody can become homeless. All you have to do is look at the Invisible People podcast on YouTube. You will find there are plenty of people with skills and abilities that are not able to get residence. They're not able to get homes, and the reason why is because the social services that are provided are all over the place, and they have to get transportation every day to collect all of those services. They have nowhere to put stuff. They have no refrigerator to put their food in, and they have to find a secret place that nobody's going to come in and steal from them. And so they need security. They need the ability to have a secure wall around their stuff so that they can go to work, come back, and be sustained and confident that the stuff is going to be there for them when they get home. Okay, and so that's good socialism. Good capitalism is when you're providing jobs. You're lobbying the government to do things for people. When you're hiring people, you're not hiring them so much. You're willing to train them. That's another example of good capitalism. Train people, have programs that better people in such a way that they can go up the ranks. And if you inspire them to do that, they will honor you by creating the people that you need in your organization that are trustworthy. That you won't get trustworthy people in your organization simply by providing them work. You have to educate them. You have to make them become better people. And if you put your love into doing that for them, they will bring it back to you. They may become competitors, but if they become competitors and your company fails, they might hire you up. So don't go to college and build up a black book of all the people that you know there, and then expect that to work for you. It's better for you to start a company and hire people on and educate them and make that company your educational experience, your Harvard, and the people the relationships you build up there, the friendships, will benefit you more than anything you could gain from a black book of just doing networking at Harvard. Okay, so